Sorry seems to be the hardest word, is a phrase that has been often used. But I like to say that forgiveness seems to be the hardest thing to give. My name is Comfort Booth and welcome to my channel, Mommy Gio's Pearls, where we explore life together and see how we can go on a journey to self. In our last session, we spoke about personal trauma. And I dwelt a bit on that because all of us have had some form of trauma or something done to us by someone else that we're able to articulate, we acknowledge, we even, act upon it. However, most times what we don't do is to acknowledge the one that we do to ourselves, the self-inflicted one, which I call personal trauma. And I call it a trauma because we tend to, not forgive ourselves for things that we have done, mistakes that we have made, and we hang on to it, hold on to it, and say, oh, had I known, should I, we just go on, and we get stuck in our heads. And sometimes it becomes a barrier to moving forward in whatever it is that we want to do. And so today, my topic is on forgiveness. Yes, forgiveness of self, and eventually forgiveness extended to others. Forgiveness of self here is riding on the back of personal trauma. When you realize the things that you have done and you've acknowledged them and you've said to yourself, you know what, yes, I was wrong here. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have been involved in this. The next thing to do is to forgive yourself. We tend not to think about it, but the truth is that in the long run, you have to live with yourself. You have to live with the things you've done. You have to live with regrets if you're one that does acknowledge regrets. You have to live with the things that you didn't do. And sometimes they seem unbearable. But the only way to do it is to face it and say, you know what, this is me. This is what I've done. I wasn't at my best. I could have done better. And so, I'm extending grace to myself and I'm forgiving myself. This is apart from what other people, will do or say or whatever. But this is for you, for your own growth, for your own healing, and for your own going forward. I cannot emphasize it enough because it is a horrible thing when you get stuck in your head and you won't let it go and you keep on, how could I? You can say as many how could I's, you can't undo it. So what's the point? Isn't it better for you to move forward? And one of the ways to move forward is to say, you know what, Comfort, you did wrong. Yeah, you messed up, you did bad, but you can make it better. So starting with yourself, look, as Michael Jackson said, the man in the mirror. How is it going to get better? It will start with the man, in this case, the woman in the mirror. Moving on to forgiving others. Now, this one tends to be a very difficult one, but we must learn to let go. And I will continue this in our next session. I just wanted to hamper on the need to forgive self first. As I said, charity begins at home. So why not forgiveness? Why not forgiveness? So I hope it's easy to say, it's difficult to do, but the acknowledgement is your first step. And I pray and I hope that whatever it is that you think you're holding on to, you're able to forgive yourself. And if you have not done anything to yourself, don't worry, you might come. Begin to practice how to say sorry to yourself. So thank you and see you in the next session where we now talk about forgiving others and why it is important to your growth, not their own, your growth. He who has ears, let him hear. And thank you so much for tuning in and for watching.